and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Autumn. I'm a former elementary school teacher and I have two little girls, Alani and Emmy, who are 4 and 2. Black History Month is upon us, and I wanted to share some of the books we have in our library. Some of them are more toward the biography side, but some of them are just books we have that feature African American children and families, as well as mixed families. I try to keep our library fairly diverse, even outside of them being books with African Americans. I will only be showing a few of the books that we have, but if you are interested in learning more about different books, I also have a link in the description with a great book list for younger children. I did not make the book list. It is by Here We Read, and I definitely recommend just exploring her website because she has so many wonderful resources. This one has been in our library for a while, and I think it just really opens up the conversation. It talks about what melanin is. It also talks about different words that people use in identifying themselves, and it also talks about discrimination as well. I think it's just a really informative book that meets kids at their level. And I just want to say real quick, you do not have to be homeschooling to have these books in your library, obviously, but it also doesn't have to be Black History Month to read these books. I feel like a lot of people are familiar with these books by now, but just in case you're not, I want to recommend them. I had started following the artist on Instagram, which is how I found out about these books when they came out, and they're just wonderful. These ones are very short. I think that they're really good for younger children. This book focuses just on women, but I do think that it expands more on the different women. So it has a little bit more information about the women that are in the book. These are definitely for the younger preschool ages. These are the books that inspired the show Xavier and the Secret Museum. I don't know if your kids watch that one, but my girls really love it on PBS Kids. These books provide a lot more information. So obviously there's just one person that they are talking about in these books. So you're gonna get a lot more information from them. I do not read every word to Alani. I think that it's nice to get these books. We'll be able to use them for years. She is at an age though where reading through all of the words on every single page is just not the best approach. So when I am reading the books, I kind of find the key points and I summarize the pages in a way that is easier for her to understand. Those are the biography type books that we have in our library. Again, I said that we have a lot of book options. These are not even all of the books that I was able to pull from our library. There are definitely more. And I'm not going to go through every one of them. I just wanted to show some of them, and I will have them linked in the description if you're looking for books to purchase, books to read online, or books to check out at your local library. But I want to talk about other book resources. So we have books in our homeschool library, but you don't have to buy every single book. I love taking the girls to our local library. They have so many things that we can get there. And then on top of that, our library has so many online resources that we are able to use. One of those resources that I want to mention is BookFlix. And so BookFlix is a pairing of a nonfiction book and a fiction book. It's basically for the kind of pre-K to 3rd grade age. If your kid is a little bit older than that, then I would try TrueFlix because that's more the 3rd grade and a little bit higher, but that really just depends on your child. For example, on BookFlix, I can find a pairing such as The Other Side, which is a story of two girls, one on the African American side of town and one on the white side of town. And even though things are segregated, they find a way to build a friendship. That book is paired with a biographical book about Ruby Bridges. And so there are elements that are similar and you can kind of discover that and explore that. And again, helps to introduce your child to some nonfiction books. If you're still in the process of trying to introduce your child to nonfiction books, I think that BookFlix is a really great resource for doing that. Another book resource that we are able to have access to through our library is TumbleBooks. TumbleBooks has animated picture books on their website, and they have a Black identity section. So some of the books, again, have that biographical information, but some of the books are books that feature African American people or children. One of the books that they have available is titled Love Is. We have that in our library. It's a really sweet book for Valentine's Day, but is also a nice diverse book to have in your collection. The last book resource I want to talk about is BookFlix. So you can get a free homeschool account, which is great. And they also have a section that celebrates the achievements of African Americans, as well as features stories that have African American children and families. Similar to TumbleBooks, they have animated picture books. Alani enjoys BookFlix more. Also, they have a YouTube channel, so if you go onto their YouTube channel, there are some books that you are able to just watch there. There are two main things that I want to get across in this video. One is that if you're focusing on books for Black History Month, they do not all have to be books about struggles and hardships, especially if you are looking for books for younger children, like I'm talking about in this video. The other thing is that the books don't have to be all books that you have in your library. They can be books that are at your library. They can be books that you're accessing online. There are just so many ways to gain access to books in many different forms. It's really fun to just switch it up sometimes. Once again, I will have Here We Read's book list in the description for you to check out. And I will also link any of the books that I mentioned or any of the ones that I showed real quickly that we have in our library. That's gonna be it for this video though. If you have any other great book resources, please make sure to share them in the comments. As always, thanks so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.